You're so cute.
Hi, I'm Sandy Zuniga, the founder of Colorado Springs Town Tidings. Be in the know on the go for all things Colorado Springs, delivered right to your inbox. In today's local spotlight, I'm speaking with a true pillar of our Colorado Springs community. In practice for over 40 years, since starting her business in 1982, she has been on a mission that began with helping our local military, seniors, and tradespeople keep more of their hard earned money. Today, her firm has grown to offer a full suite of services, but her core philosophy remains the same: clients matter. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Laurie Nemeth, the founder of Laurie's Bookkeeping and Tax Services. Laurie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sandy.
So tell us a little bit that you have a lot of experience, and I don't believe you started here in Colorado Springs. So give us a little background on where you're from and how you started in numbers.
I'm from California, the Bay Area, and I worked in San Francisco, lived in the Bay Area and San Francisco, and I did auditing and I worked for Ernst and Whinney in San Francisco, but just numbers came easy for me. And back in, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s, I was 10 in bar and still working in San Francisco. And people would complain about paying taxes and this and that. Well, I knew they had bought their wife a new car or a console TV, or they had all these medical expenses because as a bartender, you get to hear all this stuff, you know?
Yes, you do.
I worked in San Francisco during the day, and at night I tended bar. So anyway, I'd say that's a tax deduction. Are you kidding me? Medical's a tax deduction. The sales tax you paid, this, that, whatever. So to make a long story short, I started assisting people lower their taxable income and then got certified so I could stay abreast, know the rules, the regulations. And of course, all states are different. For example, New Jersey, I ended up moving to New Jersey in 89. In New
Okay.
Jersey, it's wonderful because medical is dollar for dollar in your, so what you expend in medical, you get back in your pocket. But that's how I started, and I've been certified and helping clients ever since do the best I can to keep the money in their pocket because that's what it's about. You pay the government every payday, all year, and it's
Yep.
a matter of, you have a right to have keep some of your hard-earned money by deductions, expenses, whatever is now, because it changes, Sandy. Up until 17, anybody that was a W-2 employee could always claim business use of house,
Right.
and do a portion of their home and their uniforms, military, their uniform, nurses, their scrubs, my contractors and construction workers. I mean, they pay big time union dues, Sandy, big time, and their Carhartts and boots. Prior to prior to 17, you could always deduct that. All of For the whole time I've been doing taxes. Then it stopped. Then of course we get COVID and everybody is mandated to work out of the house and you
Right.
can't even deduct business use of house. So it's just trying to stay abreast of what the statutory requirements are and what we're allowed to do and share that with people so they know what rights they have and what they can, do to lower their taxable income and plan for, the upcoming tax seasons.
Right. I know I always get nervous about tax season. Well, as soon as January 1st hits, that's it. I'm all, nervous because I want to get them done and off my plate and one less stress. So if I can get them in as early as possible. And personally, I never do an extension. I want them in. And then even with my business expenses, I know we can carry over to like the next year, but I need everything clean. I'm not good with numbers in general, so I need to clean it. It's like as soon as December 31st, if I didn't do whatever my tax, put it into my uh
QuickBooks or zero or
CS
yeah. Yep,
or
yep, yep.
my 401k that I have for
Right,
myself
right.
or whatever. If I don't have it in there, I'm not putting it in after January 1st because it's got to be in that year. That's how my brain works.
Yeah, but you know what, Sandy? I got to tell you, and anybody that, you know, has used me in the past, it's homework. It's a lot of work on my client's part. I mean, it's like they tell me, Laurie, you're pulling teeth. You give me so much homework, but it's important. In Colorado Springs, it's 8.25% tax. So if you buy a car that, let's say it's average 30,000, look at that. That's over $2,000 right there in sales tax that you've paid. Sales tax is a deduction. Same with your prescriptions, medical, your co-pays, your mileage back and forth to the doctors, to the dentist. I do service a lot of military. They may not pay because they go in network. Some
Right.
people go out of network, but if you're in network, you're still mileage. To go to the VA in Denver is 82 miles
Right.
round trip that, times two. And if you go several times or therapy, kids, there's daycare deduction, and there's just so many things that are important to know. So it's a lot of homework, especially for my businesses.
Right.
I tell them you've got to track your mileage. You've got to track, you went to the bank, you went to the post office, you go all these places. If you don't have time to track every business mile, do beginning miles, ending miles, and then back out your personal,
Right.
because it's easier sometimes to back out back and forth to the kids' school and the grocery store once a week, especially with Google Maps, right?
Right.
It
Right.
tells you exactly. Yep.
And now we can just take it and throw it into AI and have it spit it out for us.
Oh, yeah, I haven't used that yet. It's kind of scary because with the bookkeeping part of it, it tries to classify and code incorrectly.
Right.
And that will really set up red flags for my bookkeeping clients. And we don't want to do that.
Yep,
So,
no, it's definitely a tool and it's helpful, but it's not a replacement. So
oh no, not for, well, the numbers part of it. I don't know. I know it's great for any kind of resumes and cover sheets, and the kids talk about it. My kids and my grandchildren, but for coding and classifying and chart of accounts for bookkeeping, you really still need to stay on top of it because you don't want to code and classify incorrectly and
right.
affect
And then
someone's
give you the
business.
files and then give you the files that are all messed up.
Truth. It's true. I get them all the time.
Yep.
Trust me. Trust me.
I know I get annoyed with QuickBooks because it's so expensive and I've got the desktop version, but when my computer craps out, then it's like I'm scrambling and stuff. And I just don't, that their monthly is just too high, I think, for what it is.
Well, Sandy, I got to tell you, QuickBooks Desktop Stop, it
I
doesn't
know,
exist for any support in the United States.
I
Really.
know, knock
You
on
need
wood.
to really convert to QuickBooks Online. And I can help you do that. And I'm a pro advisor for QuickBooks. So
Okay.
you can get it, I can give you a discount. I think it comes to $40 a month or something. That could really help you. There
Yeah,
is no support for desktop,
I
enterprise,
know.
none of it. Okay.
I know. It just, well, we're knocking on wood because I'm gonna limp along until I'm the type that, I put my stuff in my QuickBooks and make sure I do my books, but it has to always have, I have to know what account and, what goes in and what goes out.
Absolutely. The chart of accounts you've got to know. Yeah.
To be honest, when I went to college, I was like, I'm gonna get a 4.0, I'm gonna get a 4.0. I'm not a 4.0, student at all.
No,
I
no.
am I'm like a B plus ish, and my attendance and my perseverance kind of got me up to the A's.
It'll get you through.
Yep. However, accounting it was my first D. I'm like, I have to stop because, and leave this class because I can't get that. My GPA will tank. I said, no, but the problem was I have a business degree and that was required. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, maybe
yeah.
there's a better teacher. So I'm not um, a dummy, but my brain works on just give me exact and let me put that in, and then it's just done. Less stress.
And my brain's totally opposite. Somebody will come to me, and because I'm an auditor by trade, and that's what I ended up, doing is I look at all the pools, all the, buckets, and
Right,
I say, okay, we need to do this, because it's all the buckets. But writing an essay or a grant, forget about it. I'm
right.
I'm horrible. Yeah, it's the numbers that come, and I can see the errors. It's just something that comes easy for me. It's
I
a
would
lot of
have
work, but it comes easy.
I would have to say, Lori, just give me the bare minimum that I need to do, and then please just take it off my, I don't even want it to know. I mean, yeah, I'll look at it and everything, but oh please, that's just one less stress. So so be
Well,
careful.
the what we need to really remind businesses, Sandy, is to pay those estimated taxes, because they are they are now sending out penalties if we're not paying our estimated quarterly taxes. So that's something that we really want to highlight. People are getting a bill for $1,000, 250 if they missed a quarterly payment, and it's horrible. It's
You
I
mean
don't know
then I
how they're
gotta
picking.
stress every quarter on top of
Yeah,
everything else?
yeah, yeah. You need to make that quarterly payment. It's so important.
Maybe I could.
Sometimes we don't have the funds, so make a good faith payment, $100, 200, something to minimize that penalty or alleviate it altogether.
Well, I'm bummed, so maybe I didn't want this interview. No, just kidding.
No, I'm sure you do well. The only thing is, here's what I got to tell you. You're giving the government too much money because you are not doing that homework and making sure you've got all those deductions. People forget too. My gosh, we got new windows or new doors or a hot water heater or a new furnace. There are energy credits. You can
Right.
get an energy credit of up to what, $2,500, $7,500.
So,
People hear the solar credit, they don't realize it's windows and doors,
oh,
as well. Furnace, hot water heater.
so I here's one question. There on the personal taxes, there's itemized and not itemized because right now, or at least was in the past, there was you were in a certain bracket and you get a certain amount, and that seemed to have been more than trying to itemize. What's your
I,
thoughts?
I, I, I don't believe in that. I
Okay.
believe that you key in every penny and then you see what's most advantageous. Is
Oh,
it the
gotcha.
standard deduction or is it the itemization? We have to, people forget, we don't write a check anymore for our monthly premiums. You know what I mean? We don't write that check anymore for that $795, $2,000 a month premium. It comes direct debited out of our paycheck. Same with the FSA, HSA, daycare. But those are still expenses that we have. So if you add that up, every payment, all of your daycare, your prescriptions, your co-pays, your mileage, 9 times out of 10, it's more than the standard deduction.
Okay.
S-
So my question is, I know you've got you've got so much wisdom, and you've also got a really great website, which we'll let them know later. But on that website, do you have a sheet or something like all these things, this homework and all of these deductions and and all these things? Because some of these things that you're saying, I would not have thought of. I didn't think they could have. Do you have like a sheet or something somebody can print out and then they know to put that on? on your website,
You know
maybe?
what? I could attach it. I just have it's called a tax prep checklist that I send to all my clients, and
Okay.
it says your registration, your mortgage, your property taxes, your HELOC. It just gives a list: medical, dental, chiropractor. You know what? If you wear glasses, contacts, your saline solution. I mean, it's like $23 for a bottle, but it's tax deductible. And
Huh.
people go through, once or twice a month, but it's all those $20 that really add up. You
Okay. Yeah.
know, Same with the 401k and thrift savings for military. You can deduct your 401k, your individual retirement, up to a certain dollar amount, of course, and there's thresholds. Don't forget, I could have a client and I say, don't forget to make sure you put in. They put in, but then they get a raise. So now they're above the threshold. So they don't get the deduction because they increase the threshold and decrease the amount we can get deduct. So thank God they still are paying themselves for retirement, but it's no longer a deduction for them because they we call it phased out. They phased out because their threshold is higher,
Okay.
you know.
So, can you talk about what I read recently that there's a new tax bracket for this year?
Uh,
What's this?
well,
What's the
th-
scoop? Is it
There's
wrong
a
or
new tax bracket
okay?
every year, always. But what there's gonna be an additional, they were supposed to stop taxing Social Security. I tell every one of my seniors that you should write a letter saying stop taxing Social Security because it's been taxed. Once you hit 40 quarters, it's gone anyway. You're done. You've already, paid in. However, you still continually pay for Social Security. But when you retire and you receive Social Security, even my 93-year-old clients, 98-year-old clients, they're still taxed on their Social Security. And they're
Right.
taxed up to 85% of their Social Security. And it's heartbreaking. So
That's
I always say
ridiculous.
it's horrible.
How do they I mean, because for Social Security, there is, depending on what year you take it out, how much you can get. But even if you take it out at
Absolutely.
70 and do that,
Absolutely.
if
But
it's
you're taxed.
80%, that's
Up to
crazy.
85%. So let's say your Social Security was, $30,000. You could be taxed up to 28,000 of that. So it's heartbreaking. So I tell all my seniors, write a letter, stop taxing Social Security. And I thought they were going to do that this past election. However, they did not because they said that generates billions or whatever, trillions of dollars. But there is going to be a new deduction for seniors um, for an additional $6,000. Now, these are all supposed to be on the books, but it hasn't, it's supposed to be new, but I won't know for sure in January or February. It could change again. You just don't know.
Right.
Also, what else? The overtime. But that phases out too. Once you've hit over 25 hours, for example, they may not give you that break. So everything there's a phase out period is what it's called.
Well, that whole Social
Well,
Security just seems like a racket, just because in
it is a racket.
my feeble little brain, it's kind of like we're paying into Social Security and we're getting
Yep.
taxed
Yep. The whole time.
as we're paying into it. I mean, it is a tax.
It
So
is a tax.
we're paying into that, and it's kind of like one of those regular IRA and a Roth IRA. To me, Social Security should be like a Roth IRA where you paid the tax up front.
Absolutely.
When you
Absolutely.
get it.
But it generates so much money that the government is not going to stop it. It's really sad. It's heartbreaking. I cry when my seniors that are 93, 98 still have to write a check. And they pay estimated taxes, Sandy. I got
Really?
clients who write out $240 checks every quarter, $300, $500 estimated tax, and still owe at the end of the year. And trust me, they're not getting great Social Security, because think of the wages back in the day,
Right.
and it's based on the three highest years. Well, a child that works now at 18, $19 an hour could, in 3 years' time, will make more if they were able to collect on Social Security than somebody that worked 40 years,
Oh,
30
wow.
years,
Wow.
because because of the wages. They're so much higher now. I mean, back in the day, it was $2 an hour. It was a dollar
Right.
65 an hour, or
Right.
$3 an hour, whatever it was.
Right.
So, and it goes by the highest 3 years. So,
Holy cow, Lori, you've got I have no idea how you've got that, all in your head. I mean, it's your experience, obviously, and your
yeah.
research and your certification and your
Oh,
knowledge.
and the clients, I see, and you can write oh, that's another thing. With the estimated tax is so important. Back in the day, like all my clients from Boeing, they always made great money. And this is in Jersey, right? I had a lot of guys from McGuire Air Force Base. Most of my clients were from, were military. In California, I had Travis Air Force Base, Ball Metal, Mare Island, Anheuser-Busch, mostly, working crafts and trades and military. Not as many seniors back there, but of course they've retired now, so they're seniors now. But
Right.
anyway, oh gosh, what was oh, back in the day, like my Boeing guys would say, oh no, we're going to file exempt, right? We're going to file exempt and we'll
Okay.
write that $10,000,
Oh,
$20,000 check
right.
at the end of the year. So, but you can't do that anymore.
Right.
You cannot do because you're going to be penalized and fined big time. They want those quarterly estimated payments. And on your W-4, I do a lot of W-4 planning for my clients. They get a new job, or I see that they owe this year. I'll tell them, talk to HR or go into my pay. Make sure you now put single and zero, is the way to go. I know you're married and you got three kids, but
Right.
with the W-4 now, it's telling you, and you're signing that under penalties of perjury, Sandy. But if you look at that form, it's horrible.
It is.
Married, yeah, and it will say, is there any other income in your family? And do you have children? Well, if you have children, times it by $2,000. Well, if you got three kids or two kids, that's $4,000 or $6,000. Pretty soon they're not taxing you at all
Right.
because there is another earner in the family, or there's not taxing you, and to come up with 4 or 5 thousand or any money at the end of the year to pay the government after they have taken money from you during the year, it is really sad. So I do a lot of for planning for
Yep.
my clients so they can do that break even. And or let's say you say to me, Lori, I want to redo the deck and I need $6,000. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to now say single and zero, extra $100, whatever it is a month, and you'll have at the end of the year, this will be your refund,
Right.
planning.
Right.
And I have tax calculators on my webpage as well. So you can do that. And then you get that $6,000 or whatever it is check, to pay for that new deck or whatever it is you want, that vacation.
Right. Yep. And I know those W-4s are a mess. We were trying to do that for my husband, I think 2 years ago or last year or
Yeah,
something.
that's when it changed. Yep.
And he was like, the accountant said, okay, do this and just put this and this. And he couldn't find those on that, and he's like, I
Yep.
don't know what to do. And he tried to talk to his HR and he tried and it got messed up again. And it's
Yep.
like, okay, so we'll see what happens when,
Well,
new
it's
things are
because the
coming.
forms changed, and maybe that accountant didn't realize because they didn't do payroll. Not all accounting offices do payroll. I do payroll because I do bookkeeping and payroll as well as taxes. So, yeah, those forms change. So it's not like the old days, you just click single and put a zero. It's
Right.
really not. They ask the questions, and most people, they're 99% honest and they're going to fill it out. Yes, I am married, and yes, I have
Right.
three kids. And no, you don't. I don't care. That is up to you to determine how much money you want withheld or, from your paycheck. Now I can tell my clients, look, every client's different. If you're struggling payday to payday, then you're going to put married,
Right.
and maybe one.
Right.
If you're not struggling payday to payday, put single and zero and have a little extra, and you're going to get that back, at the end of the year, whatever we can. But it's better than owing. Keep the money in your pocket. We
Right.
give the government so much, and we can only deduct what's, statutory allowed by law.
Right.
That's the thing, but we got to utilize that,
Right.
at least try. Standard deduction might be the best for a lot of people, but you don't know unless you add up all the expenses.
Right.
And same with refundable credits. There's three different refundable credits. One, if you're going to school or taking classes, Sandy. Let's say you take a class with your web page, right? And you go to Pikes Peak or you take a CEUs or certification. You can get up to $1,000 in your pocket. It's a refundable credit, education credits. Kids that go to college, it's a refundable credit, including your books, tutor, computer. It includes that. AOC credits up to 2,500, a regular lifetime credit that you can take every year if you're taking classes, up to $1,000. There's a retirement credit, retirement savers credit. If you're under, if you make under like 56,000, right, then and you've paid into a 401 or an IRA, then you can get a credit. It could be 200, 400, but that's money in your pocket. It's
Right.
like earned income credit. Families that have children that make under a certain dollar amount can get earned income credit. And that's like a plateau or a pyramid, I mean.
Right.
If you make little amount of money, there is no earned income credit. And then let's say you make 16,000 to 30,000, you're going to get X amount depending on how many children you have. But it's all based on income. And
Right.
yeah,
Well, again, there's a lot that goes on.
there's a
So,
lot. Yeah, and it
how about
changes every year.
what's the easiest mistake people make that lands them on the IRS radar?
The IRS picks different things all the time. It could be retirement, really, it could be retirement. They could be red flagged. Uh, you know what? A lot of last year was identity. A lot of
Oh
clients
yeah.
got a letter from the IRS saying they wanted to validate their identity. And I've never seen that in prior years. I
Right.
have to say, in all the years, I've only had one client audited. And we went through that. It was fine, you know. And but I have to also tell you, I get clients that come in with letters, clients that I hadn't prepared their taxes, and their tax agency might be closed. So they get the letter and it's off season.
Right.
But and they owe $150,000 or $40,000. Some of that, a lot of people get a letter, they owe 1,000, they write a check and pay it.
Right.
They don't even question it. And you've got to question it and find out why. The bigger amounts is because you sold a house, Sandy.
Okay.
You didn't get that 1099-S at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, so you don't claim it when you file your taxes. Well, we have to remember that every single thing, every place you work, invest, Robinhood's, Charles Schwab, interest, dividends, crypto, Coinbase, Big Stamp, anything and everything, even if you're selling on Amazon.
Mhm.
It used to be over a certain dollar amount, they'd
I
send you a
know.
1099, but you still are supposed to claim the monies you make.
Right.
And I've got clients that are so honest, they got X amount on 1099s and they made X amount cash, or check. They still claim it. But what was my point? Oh, when you sell a house, you have to claim it. But what you want to do is adjust the basis. You buy the house for 200,000, right?
Mhm.
There's capital gains. We all know you got when you sell a house, you got to pay capital gains. But you adjust the basis. So for example, your husband, he's in the trades, right? Construction,
Uh,
electrician in the trades.
he does shredding for a
So the
company.
so here's what happens. You buy a house $200,000 and you put in blinds, you put in rose bushes, you do a deck. You over 10 years you've redone the sink or the bathroom. Well, all of those things, it's called adjusting the basis. So
Yeah.
now that $200,000 house is worth or is now 250,000 or 300,000. You sell it for 400,000. So you're not paying capital gains on
All right.
$200,000,
Yep.
right? It's now you minus it out. And of course, if you're single, it's $250,000 that you don't have to worry about. And if you're married like you are, you don't have to worry about the first 500,000, but you still want to adjust the basis
Right.
and your expenses for the realtor,
Right.
all of the right closing costs,
Yep.
all of the expenses to sell that house. And people don't realize that and they don't claim the sale of the house, but that document went to the
Oh,
IRS.
yeah, of course. Yep.
Every document, every 1099, W-2, it
Yep.
goes to the IRS, so we have to claim it. So that's really the most letters people get is underestimating or understating their income
Okay.
because they didn't realize, especially my seniors now, because they don't have a computer. Some things you have to look online to get the interest
Right.
or your dividends, and they're waiting for this for the paper to come in saying this is what you had for
Right. Right.
interest or
And it
dividends.
ain't coming anymore.
It's not coming anymore.
So,
Yeah.
what are your average customer base now? What
Um,
type of people are they?
it's mostly seniors. I
Okay.
have mostly seniors and military.
Okay. And
Mostly seniors and military.
is it because your office, what's the address?
76 Widefield Boulevard. I'm in Widefield, and it's an older neighborhood, Widefield Security Area. I'm southeast.
Right.
Um,
And
right.
you're basically Springs, just southeast and right there where Security Field is. I believe you're just on the other side, the east side of Fort Carson. I mean,
Yes. I'm about 10 minutes from gate 20.
yeah. Okay. And so is it because of the area you think you've gotten that clientele, or is it just
So I think it's the area.
okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And do you take clients all over the Springs or just
Oh yeah,
in
I most of my clients, I have to tell you, are all out of state.
okay.
Working with military, Travis Air Force Base, McGuire Air Force Base, I retain my clients. I
Right.
retained until they pass, I retain them. And so then I do their children and the grandchildren. And
Right.
so no matter where they, no, when you're military, you normally PCS every 3 years.
Right.
So they could be here and then now they're in Texas or, they're in Washington or they're in California, wherever they go. I still retain my clients. So I want to say 60% are all out of state. And my clients that are here are seniors and military.
Okay. Do you have a cap on how many clients you will take?
I do. Right now, I'm trying to do mostly referrals because Sandy, nobody wants to work.
Okay.
I'm serious. It is so hard to find help. And in this job, it's a privacy issue. You got to
Right.
make sure, ethical and privacy. But and I'm not trying to be rude, but the cell phone is glued to, I've had people come in, Laura, I need a job. Absolutely. I need the help. If you could file, answer the phone. I need somebody to answer the phone. I can't answer the phone when I'm with clients. But they're on the cell phone, and I'm not paying somebody to hang on their cell phone.
Right.
I
Right.
can't do it. I had Stephanie here. She moved, say, PCS to Florida. Wonderful, wonderful. Customer service, filing, answer the phone all day long. Peggy, who was like my office manager, she kept my calendar, emailed the clients, just amazing. But she had to stay home because her son was getting in trouble. I
Okay.
just can't find anybody that wants to work. And I don't mind paying good
Right.
money.
Right.
So it's difficult. So yeah, I do have to cap it. I'll do referrals and I have to let them know if I don't have the documents by a certain day, we do have to file an extension because I need the documents. And they can go anywhere, H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, anywhere, and they'll key in a W-2 and send them on their way. I don't do that.
Right.
I don't do that, Sandy. I ask a million questions. I want to know if they've got kids and if they go to daycare and how can I help you? Let me help you.
Right.
Keep the money in your pocket. And some people I can and some people I can't. The young military kids, I know they don't have deductions. And I'll help them because if they go to Jackson Hewitt, they've been charged, or Liberty, $400 for one W-2. I
Right.
don't charge that. And I give discounts to my seniors, my military and first responders, because you have to.
Right.
You need to, or prior clients. Um, I haven't raised my prices in 8 years, Sandy.
Well, that's,
8 years.
but you also, when you're filing because you file electronically, haven't the prices of filing electronically gone up?
Everything. I pay for the software. I pay to process. I pay to print the return for the client because I print everything and mail it for them unless they'd like to pick it up and to e-file. Yep.
Right.
It
For
could
the,
be
and it's,
$142.
right, and it's not just that, like I know when I file, my accountant goes ahead and I pay for that at I think it's $60. It used to be $30 or
Yep.
$35.
Yep.
Now it's
Yep.
$60, but
Yep.
that's not his cost. His
No.
cost to file. I mean, I know when you go to H&R Block, they charge you for, like you said, a W-2,
Every
this, that,
form. Every
every,
form.
but every form that goes in there, you guys are paying the government or wherever a price that you have to pay just to get that form in there, and we can't just
Yeah.
mail them anymore.
No. But I'm not form based. I do a flat rate and then I
Right.
discount from there. There's no way. I
Right.
mean, I people can't afford it. There's just no way.
I know, but
And
and my point is that it's not that, okay, you're um the accountant and you have all of these liberties. You don't. You have hard
no,
fixed costs. Every time you send a form in, they're charging you, which
absolutely.
means,
Same with
so,
printing.
yeah.
Yep. And the paper. Have you bought a ream of paper, Sandy? I mean, come on. It was $30. Now it's $53 for a case of paper.
Yeah,
But
we got paper. Somebody was throwing paper out or something, but it was, and my husband's, like, wait, what do you do that? It's all different colors, and it's
it
okay
doesn't
unless
matter. Yeah.
unless I have to actually send it somewhere or whatever. I'm even I'm even printing things on back sides of crap paper,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
some of my, like, the bills now that come in, our water district does not give you something in the mail, so you have to print it out. And I'm going, I'm not wasting my good paper
Absolutely.
on that.
Yep. It's true. It's true. Yep. I just had the guys come in yesterday and they to give me a new contract. I can't find it. It was on the desk here. For my printer because I not only paid the lease, the toner, but I paid per page. And they said they're going to up it to 10,000 pages a month because I print that much.
Oh my goodness. Well,
But my clients upload documents,
right,
so I print them all. Yep,
right. Wow.
yep.
So there is
So
so
things are
much.
a little tight around here, but the
Exactly.
good thing is, and I'm not saying this because I own the company, but I do own the company, so I can say, you know what? this little girl, she got one W-2. If I want to tell her, don't worry about it, you're okay, I can do that. My
Right.
seniors, I can say, yes, I am a flat rate. It's 350, and I give discounts, but I can tell my seniors, you know what? No, my seniors, I can say it's only 200 for your
Right.
taxes.
Right.
I can do that. You got to be fair. And
And you know the numbers, so you
I
know
know the
that you
numbers.
can
I
make it
know
happen.
who's struggling. I
Right.
know what they owe. I know. I see that everybody says you got all our information, and it's true.
But
But
you know your numbers too, so you know where you can have a little
I
wiggle room and and
yep.
still be solvent because if you went under, then all the people you're helping would
Well, I was
have
thinking
a problem.
about the brick and mortars are expensive. The water,
Right.
the garbage, the buildings, that working out of the house. And I know a lot of people have done that. And it really is a smart business,
If you can do it, yeah.
yeah, if you can do it. But I don't know. Right now I know that clients matter. So I'm doing the best I can for my clients. Um, and I'll stay open as long as I can, as long as there's a roof over my head, and I've got a little bit of food, I can help the clients. But I got to tell you, I do charge. I mean, I don't do the amendments for free.
Right.
If it's a return that I did and they forgot forms, or forms come in later, I mean, I can do that for whatever it costs me at cost. But
Right.
clients that are coming in, I've got three sitting on my desk now. Clients that are coming in from other companies that I'm amending their returns, I have to charge them a regular tax return
Right.
because, I have to not only prepare it the way I would, but then amend it to show what somebody else did and why I'm amending it,
Right.
So it's really double the work.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yep.
Yeah, an amendment doesn't mean you skip out and just do it later.
Nope.
You're still
Nope.
doing
Nope.
all of
Nope.
the work. In fact, I think other than the time crunch before April 15th,
Mm,
I think it's more work because, first of all, you're not always in that mode. I assume when it's tax season, you're basically in a tax season mode, and it's like a machine kind of thing. Okay, you got
absolutely.
that. But when
Yep.
it's not, now you're working on other stuff, and now you got to come back and
Absolutely.
get back in there and go check this and that. It
It's
makes it
true.
messier.
Yeah, and plus I have to recertify. So by December 31st, I have to make sure all my CEUs, all of my training, everything, even if it's going to change in January again, I still have to recertify and take all those tests. So it's a lot.
That's
And
crazy.
and fight with QuickBooks.
Yes. Yep. Don't get me started. But
Hey,
so
try Zero. Zero's pretty good.
is that a company?
Yeah, Zero. It's an accounting. I use Zero, Sage, Great Plains, or Dynamic, and QuickBooks.
Okay.
Yep,
Well, we'll
yep,
we'll talk after that,
yep.
after to see what for my feeble little.
Do not pay that $2,600, $2,400
For
payment
what?
on that desktop. Do
Okay.
not. That desktop is That's too expensive.
Oh, no, I used to get it at Costco or Sam's or whatever for a couple
Oh,
$100, and then I put it on there. And so again, don't jinx me. It's still
okay,
working. It's a
good.
2013 version.
Oh no, that's
But it does just what I need. I don't need all the fancy bells and whistles. It's just what I need, and that's it for now. So
I hope it calculates. You better double check that profit and loss statement. It may
yeah,
not even be
it is.
2013.
It's good. It's fine.
Okay.
So then, uh, so do you have room for new clients?
Yes, I do. My daughter moved here from Jersey, and she's going to pull a couple days a week
Okay, she's an
to help me,
accountant
which
as
would be
well.
no, but she does customer service, communications,
Okay,
emailing,
okay,
printing, all of that is so time consuming. I print almost 5 hours a day,
right,
four
right.
to 5 hours a day.
Okay.
So that will help. And then Stephanie, who used to work here before, is going to do bookkeeping, remote bookkeeping. And
Okay.
she's certified, and I trust her
Right.
tremendously. Yeah. So I do
Okay.
have help in those areas. My son helps with the books. He's in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about at 100% capacity on clients would be obviously you're full. What percentage are you now, roughly?
The 80%.
Okay, so you have about
Yep.
20% more if
Yep,
anybody.
yep.
Do you
I like to
prefer?
try to do referrals first,
Right,
because I I j- I got to tell you, one of my biggest mistakes I make is I process a return. Of course, I get all the information. I process the return. You sign allowing me to e-file. I process it, and I now have to try to get my money.
right.
Not
Okay,
everybody pays. And I don't do where you withdraw from your tax return. I don't believe in all that because that's a third party having your information and your bank information.
right.
So,
Yeah,
I don't believe in that. So, I bill people out and I'm have a whole box full of CODs and I've
gotcha.
already filed their returns. So,
Oh, wow.
I like to do the referrals because I don't seem to get burnt from,
Gotcha.
or
Well,
I just need to start collecting, when
yes,
I file.
collect before. We're not
Before I
filing.
file,
Yep.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
and the reason why I ask is when your article goes out and people see the videos, the interview, they might be curious and it's a referral from me to
Yes,
you
yes,
through
yes,
this.
yes.
So it's not directly, from a client. However, we're getting it out there and you obviously know your stuff. And I just want to make sure that you we're letting people know if you have openings. Now, what do you prefer? Business clients or just the
Oh,
personal?
both, both. I would love more businesses,
Okay.
bookkeeping. I love that. Because I can audit the books and ensure that things are correct for them, even if they don't use me for their taxes. I've got
Gotcha.
clients that, have other accountants, but I do all their bookkeeping.
Okay.
And I have clients I do their books and their taxes. It just, but yeah, I'd love to have, and to be perfectly honest with you, it's because it's a monthly income
Right.
and it's year round. It's not just tax season.
Right.
So that helps during the off season.
Yep.
I do have access to a couple tax preparers. If I take on more clients, I just haven't had the need to use them,
Gotcha.
and I even if I had other tax preparers working in the office, I would still audit.
Right.
I would have to audit because
Right.
I sign my name and it's
Right.
my P10, it's my, business, it's my number, I would still have to audit it to ensure that it's correct. But to have people in that answer the phone, print, bind all the returns, do the emails, there's so much work that needs to be done,
Yes.
in a tax and bookkeeping office.
Right. Okay. So then I'm hearing tax cuts are ending. What's the smartest move folks can make now, being October or the end of the year?
I think they should look at their pay stubs, their last pay stub, and check online or my software or online and see where they're at now because you can still change your W-4
Oh,
3 times a year every month. I think they should put money into an IRA or 401k. That will help unless you make over, 180,000, 200,000. If you're going to make that, you're not going to get the discount, but it's still money in still money for your
later.
retirement. You're
Yeah.
still always pay yourself first. That's a really important thing. But I would start gathering documents. I would get statements from, by the end of the year, get the statements from the pharmacy. If you go to chiropractor, start, looking at your calendar for your doctor's appointments, and where you went. Ensure, of course, so medical and dental, retirement, education expenses, daycare. Look around the house. What did you buy? A lot of people are buying cars all the time. Did you buy a new car? What did you pay for registration? Your property taxes. Did you do any home repairs, insulation, windows, doors? Make sure you tell your accountant or your bookkeeper all of these items, because that's the homework. You got to do your
Right.
homework. Your
Gotcha.
homework. Everybody says, I got my homework done. No, wait a minute. I still need this. Oh, Lori.
Right. Well, and I think I have a feeling I know what this answer is, but after 40 years, what financial blind spot do you wish everyone would fix? What's something that comes in and you always shake your head and go, oh, if they would only
Well,
not done this or did do this?
yeah, it's their W-4. It
Okay.
really is. It's the paycheck. You
Okay.
know, not claiming, not looking at it, realizing that there is taxes that you're going to owe at the end of the year. When you file your taxes, you're going to owe money or you're going to get money back. It's that simple. There's a bracket. The tax bracket says you make X amount of money, this is what you owe the government, depending if you're married or single, right?
Right.
It's that simple. Then you want to look at your pay stub and say, okay, this is where we are, but it's aggregate money. It's not just you. So you work, Sandy, your husband works, right? So you can look at yours and say, oh gosh, I'm perfect. Well, your husband may not be. I get mad all the time. I'll say, you know what? You need to, I told you last year, you need to change this. Your wife has had $14,000 come out this year, hypothetically, right? And you had $2,000. You made more than her. So now, when you take the money in aggregate, you're messed up. You owe the government already.
Right.
So it's the tax planning that's important. Right.
Right.
That's what I see the biggest downfall is not having enough taxes taken out during the year. I always say it's better to have a little bit taken out during the year than owe that big check at the end of the year because it's inevitable. I mean,
Right.
we got to pay those taxes, damn it anyway.
Right. Right.
Sorry.
No, you're you're good. You're very, I love the passion you have on this, especially because like that's my weakness. And, finances are a stressor for me in general and a lot of people. So I love your passion and, you just want to help. And it's like, okay, I know it's going to be a pain in the butt. However, if you do
You got
this,
to do your homework.
it
You got
might,
to do
it
your homework.
might be better. So there are going to be ideal clients for you and not ideal clients for you. And I think with this interview, we're kind of showing them if it's somebody who kind of, like me is a little stressful about it and kind of worries about a lot of things, keeping track of everything like that may be an additional stress,
Right.
and it may not.
Right. You're right, Sandy. You're right.
However, that doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. It just means it may or may not be a right fit for me. But if you're willing to, and maybe with a sheet or something where, here you go, let's make it easy for you, then, that'll be another one where it might be
Yep,
ideal.
it's just a little checklist that you just go down and you just follow it. It's so easy. Really, it is easy to do. Sometimes we overthink things, but
No, I can't imagine overthinking anything. Actually, there's a mug somewhere my husband got me. It says, wait a minute while I overthink this.
yeah, it's
And I'm
true.
like, okay, fine. So now on your website, we kind of talked about it a little bit before, and it's Laurie's bookkeeping tax service.com. You have a monthly newsletter that gives them some really good information. Plus,
Absolutely.
plus, I think you said it was you have like a ticker tape or something where you're
I
on
do.
top of what is happening now, like when that new tax bracket or something it came out. Again,
Absolutely everything.
on that.
Yep.
That'll be on there. So even if somebody doesn't do business with you, whether they do business with you or not, what we
It's
like,
open to everybody.
we
And it's
want,
got the calculators on there. It's got services. It's got anything and everything you can use. I get it through the CPA Academy. And I got that because it does help people. You know, you can track your refund. You can find out what's going on with the government. You can type in something and get the form from the IRS that you might need. You know, you can set up a consultation with me and it's free. I don't charge for consultations. I can't answer the phone when I'm with clients because it's
right,
just rude and I would
right.
never get work done. But my email's on there. I email in the morning. Time management's important. I do the email in the morning and printing, and then maybe at night before I go to bed. I start at 4 in the morning. The rest of the time is taxes and I allocate 2 days a week, Sundays and Mondays for bookkeeping. And then I just try to stay on them 2 hours every day for, to stay on top of whatever it is. But
So there's
yep,
that information there, and you live and breathe this stuff and love it. So if
I
anybody
do.
has any questions
Yes,
or just want to be informed, go to the website and do a DIY to because you've got
absolutely.
information there.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
if you need Lori, then reach out to her and see if it's a good fit or not. However, you can still get information
Absolutely.
without just Googling or just asking. You've
Correct.
still got some
And the
information.
bad thing on Googling is because it's going to bring you to all these sites and you think that they're okay, you can go on, but they're going to charge you. You don't need to pay for some of this stuff. That's just like when they came out with that FinCEN. I had clients that went on to Red and they're charging $349,
Wow.
and you don't have to do that. You could go on the website and create that because they were charging people. The fine was going to be like I don't know, $500 a day or something. I forgot what that fine
Wow.
was going to be,
Wow.
for that BOA. Remember that?
I don't. That
Yeah,
that part. Um,
that was last year.
was it? I don't even
Yeah.
know what a BOA is.
That's that was the new if you owned a business, you had to
Oh, yeah, yeah,
register.
yes, yes. And
Yep,
I
yep,
did
yep.
go in
Well,
there and I did
BOI, I'm
register
sorry,
it.
BOI
Yes, I
for
did
for the
that because
financial crimes, the
I was
financial.
and then they kept recalling it and then maybe
Absolutely.
and I said, you know what? I'm just doing it and just get it off my plate. I don't care if if it's required or not. If it's eventually going to be required, let me get it over with.
Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep. Did you pay to file that though?
I I don't think I did.
Oh,
I
good for
think because
you. Because you could have done it.
I went right to the government website and did
Beautiful. Good.
and
Good.
that's like anything else, even like domain names and things. There are other companies who send a letter saying, oh, your domain is about to expire and you can keep it for $150 or
Oh,
whatever.
don't do it. Don't do
Exactly,
it. It's a
that's not,
scam. Yep.
it's a scam. And it's just like, so yeah, with that, and there were questions,
Good
but
for
I went
you, Sandy.
right to
Good
the
for
government
you.
site.
People are paying that. They're paying that.
Wow.
They send
Yep.
out that random and they're getting $100 from all these people, and you don't even have to pay that. I
Right.
know.
Right. Yep. So, is there anything that we missed that you want my subscribers or listeners to know?
I just want them to know if they try to call and I don't answer the phone, it's not because I'm ignoring them. It's because
Right.
I'm with clients.
What's
If
your
I'm bookkeep
what's your best mode of communication? Like if somebody's interested,
email, I think
email.
email is the best mode. They can leave a message. That's fine. I will get back with them, but it may not be today. It might
Right.
be tomorrow.
Right.
But email is really the best mode. Um, I hate giving my cell phone out. I need to
Don't,
really get
yeah,
another business phone. Yeah,
don't,
because
don't, don't give your cell phone out. Um,
I think it was
so
on my website because that
it
thing
is,
is ringing constantly
it
too.
is. I saw that. Uh, so what's the best
It
email
is
address to
funny.
get you?
I've got three, which
Give us our the
actually
one that you want people to use.
I'd like them to use Lori at Lori's Bookkeeping Tax Service.
Okay.
With
Yep.
Yeah,
Let's go
and
with that.
that's the one you use, Sandy. That's the one you had.
Yep.
That's the best one. The old one I had changed from AOL, and the reason I
Don't even say
oh,
it.
I won't.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't say the email address
Yeah,
because
right,
we don't want to
right.
confuse
But I
anybody.
left that because my bookkeeping clients are, still on there from the invites. So I have to use that one as well. But yes, any new client, and I will absolutely, even if they want the checklist, if they want nothing else but the little condensed checklist, email me. I'll get it sent out. I've got it right on the computer. I can just
Right.
send it right out to whoever might need it.
Well, I just had to laugh when you said, "Yeah, my other one or my old one that's AOL," and I'm like, "Yeah, you have to get rid of it because, well, we're not on dial up, and we're not on AOL anymore." But yes, you have 40-year-old, clients for 40 years and 30 years ago when AOL was
Yep, yep,
there.
it's
So there
true.
you go.
It's true.
So I
Yep.
totally get it. Okay,
And
Laurie.
I
Well,
still send out lots in the mail too. Lots of seniors.
right, right. So, Laurie, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you,
your
Sandy.
story and your wisdom today. We had fun, even though it was tax and bookkeeping subject.
Hey,
So
you're
that's
amazing. The kids tease me because they say, "Oh, we should do podcasts and we should do all this." I don't do the pictures and the video. So,
I hear you.
this is the first, Sandy. Thank you for inviting me, and it
I
means a
feel
lot.
so honored that you went out of your comfort zone enough to
Yes, I
be here
have.
with me. So I'm so proud of you, and you've got so much to offer that
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
so
so
glad
much.
to get that out. So it's clear why clients matter isn't just a motto to you, and
No,
it's your mission.
it
And
really is.
yep,
It really is. I try to help as many people as I can.
yes.
Yep.
And so, for anybody wanting expert bookkeeping or tax help right here in Colorado Springs, like I said, whether you do business with Lori or not, make sure you visit her website at Lori's Bookkeeping taxservice.com, and that's LaurieBookkeeping taxservice.com. And yes, it's long, but I wanted to make sure you got all those letters. Plus, I'll have a link in the article. And then for listeners who want to stay connected with everything local, subscribe to Colorado Springs Town Tidings at cos.towntidings.com, your go-to source for the stories behind the businesses that shape our community, because I truly believe every local business has a story worth telling. And when we share those stories, we strengthen the heart of our community. So I'm Sandy Zuniga, celebrating our city one business at a time. And I'll see you next
Love
week.
it. Love it. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Lori.
you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sandy. Thank you